Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Rush Roots. Today we have Gerry on. So Gerry, why don't you tell us who you are and where you're from?
Well, my name is Gerry Schramm. I am from the great state of New Jersey. And I am the co host of the Something for Nothing podcast, which is a podcast about Rush.
No kidding. Is it
I,
really?
Yeah, I know. It's
Okay.
strange, right?
oh yeah, that's awesome.
Was there
All
more? Do
right,
I have,
so
am I saying more about myself? What else do you want to know? I'm
You
six
could
feet tall.
say whatever you want about yourself.
Oh, go ahead.
since you have a podcast about Rush,
hmm
how did you hear about them? What got you into the band, and what kept you around? Tell us your Rush roots.
Well, it really was just one day. Everything goes back to one specific day when I went to see Rush on the Power Windows tour, which I think when we went March 31st, I believe, 1986. Somebody had
Okay.
tickets, and I was the only one in our small friend group who had a driver's license. So my birthday's in January, so I turned 17. Everyone else was
Designated
still
driver.
16. I had a driver's license that I probably borrowed my mom or my dad's car, and they were like, "Do you want to go?" And I was like, "I guess so. Yeah, why not?" And we went with Steve. I went with Steve. I went with this other guy named Tony and Ron Lipnicki, who we had on the show a few weeks ago. And I had never really heard Rush at all, other than Tom Sawyer, probably maybe a couple other things on classic rock. Was not into them at all. Um, and then I went to the concert, and that was it. From like I said this before, like from the first second until the last second, I don't think I spoke to anybody. I was just sitting there, just agog at what I was witnessing. I could not believe that what I was witnessing. Like every song that they played was like the best song I'd ever heard until they played the next one, and that was the best song I'd ever heard. And it just went like that for almost 2 hours, and then I just left in just a ginormous fan. It was the strangest experience, and I've never gone to another concert like that in my life, where I
So
just
you weren't really a fan when you went. You kind of went in almost blind
totally
and
blind.
came out in
In love,
love, pretty much. Yeah.
in love. I was absolutely
All
in
right.
love. So,
Okay.
It's awesome.
Well, the next thing I was going to ask you was when, where, and what was your first Rush tour? But you already answered that.
yeah,
Power
it's at
Windows
it
tour,
was at the
Meadowlands.
Meadowlands Arena in New Jersey, of course.
Sure.
East Rutherford, is that where it is, right,
That's yep.
Jim? Um, yeah. Now I think it's called something else, but Brendan Byrne Arena, I think it was called back then. Yeah, so that was the first tour, and then every tour after that I've gone
Wow,
Awesome.
to.
that is cool. Yeah, those were definitely great shows.
Yeah, they were all
Definitely
great.
great shows. All right, so what was your first favorite Rush song and your first favorite Rush album, and how was that different from your favorite song and your favorite album today?
That's a hard one to
Or plural
answer.
Yeah,
songs
Well,
or
or
albums, plural. Yeah.
because I came in at Power Windows, saw that show, and then we drove around probably until like 3 or 4 in the morning, listening to Exit Stage Left because it was the only tape that we had. I don't know who brought it. It wasn't mine. It was someone else's, and we just drove around. And we listened to that over and over and over, and it must have been 5, 6 times that night. But then when I got home the next morning or the next day, whenever I could, I think I bought every album one right after another and just devoured them all. So it's really hard to tell what my first favorite album or first favorite song was
Sure.
because I just digested everything in a very short time. But probably if I'd have to pick, I'd have to say it was Exit Stage Left because that's the thing I listened to that first night. And probably also that first night was Xanadu. Hearing Xanadu is just, that song is unlike any song.
Yeah.
It's just the
yeah,
strangest song. 4 or 5 minutes of no singing, It's
Yep.
just the strangest song to
Yeah.
listen to and be like, oh my God, this is like the greatest band I've ever heard in my life. So it was probably that. It's probably, but again, it's so hard to tell. I mean, from those albums, right? From the first one to Power Windows, to me, it's an incredible stretch of fantastic albums. And I listened to all of them like probably within a month.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I can't even tell you what was my favorite one of all of them because they were just all so great.
Yeah.
How about
they-
currently? Does it does
Oh, currently, yeah. I mean, I'm probably stuck. I mean, if my favorite era of Rush is Fly By Night to Power Windows. So I mean, that's a huge stretch of albums in
Yeah.
that one. It's different
Yeah.
different things, but my go-to albums are probably, you know, Hemispheres to Grace Under Pressure are probably
Sure.
the most heaviest played albums. But again, it's hard to tell. I still love Xanadu. I still love all of those albums and all of those songs as much as the first time I heard them.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's fair. That's why I said plural, because
Yeah.
it's
So hard to
it's
tell.
tough to just pick one.
It is.
All right,
it
well,
is.
why don't you tell us where people can find you on social media, if find you or your podcast on social media, and kind of tell people where they can reach out to you to get to know you a little bit more as a Rush fan and perhaps become Rush friends.
Rush Friends, yeah, that'd be great.
Right.
The first one is likely the Instagram for the podcast, which is at the Rush Cast, isn't it? Is that it, Ryan?
Hey, it's your podcast.
I
No,
know. I should know. I should know.
I tag you guys quite a bit. It's the Rush Cast. Yes.
And then we have a Twitter, which Steve handles, my partner in crime. I should know that, right?
That I
What
don't
that
know.
one?
I don't use Twitter.
You know that.
I don't
Can't
use
help you
Twitter
there.
either. That's why I don't know what it is. Just search for the Rushcast or something
Yeah.
for nothing on the tweets, if that's what the kids call it. And then if you want to just listen to the podcast, it's everywhere you want to download podcasts. It's on every app as far as I can tell.
Sure.
Or we have like our hosting page at Podbean, which is something for nothing. .podbean.com. You can listen to all the episodes there.
Cool. It's a fantastic podcast. Check it out. And feel free to reach out to Gerry. How about email too, if they want to write in to the podcast?
Oh yeah, that's the rushcast@gmail.com.
Perfect.
Send in anything you like. People have been sending in the best thing recently. People have been sending in pictures of their denim jackets, which is great. I've been posting a lot of them because I never had a true denim jacket like you'd see people with, like, the Fly By Night owl on the back or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had a black denim jacket that just had Rush on it from like an old Velcro wallet that I had. I just tore it apart
Took
and
it off
stuck
the
it on
wallet.
the back.
Yep.
Sewed it on the back. That's the best I could do.
Awesome.
All right, folks. Well, you heard it from Gerry himself. Send them your pictures of your denim jackets with Rush items on the back of them.
Yep.
Patches or pins. All right. We will wrap there. Gerry, thanks for joining us. Everybody,
Sure thing.
take care.
See ya.